Greetings. So, I was thinking this morning, there was a time where I really wanted to get my DNA tested. I was like so interested in doing the 23andMe or Ancestry.com or whatever. I bought all the stuff, like I was serious about it. And then it just never happened. I kept getting distracted and such. But then I had the revelation that it's not all like it's not what it appears. And then I also saw a whistleblower for one of those companies, and they were saying how they were made to alter the results for Black people. They were made to take out markers showing that a lot of them were indigenous to the Americas, and also add in things about Africa because it went along with their storyline. And then the revelation I got was those DNA tests and those tests like that, allegedly, are not for the purpose we think they're for. They are tracking down the bloodlines from the Bible, the descendants. That's what they're doing. And not, I won't even say tracking down because they know. But they have lost track of some. And so they're using those tests to identify who everyone is, and keep their foot on the necks of those people. So what does that look like? That looks like you might come from a family and you think, gosh, we've just been poor for generations. How does that even happen? It really doesn't organically. But if there's people who are targeting you, yeah, it does happen. You might be like, dang, alcoholism runs in my family. The spirit, the demon of alcohol has a grip on your family, has a hold, a strong hold. That's what's on your family. They use drugs to target some families. They use, when drugs doesn't work, drugs, alcohol, addictions, just different addictions, whatever addiction they can infuse into your family and get a stronghold. That's what they'll use. They'll use men or women, whichever, to take somebody out. I've seen them use in my family alcoholism, drugs, women, men, whatever the opposite sex. They use that person, that type of person, to come in and bring them down. Whatever they can use to bring you down. They're trying to eliminate bloodlines, whole bloodlines. You might be like, dang, all of the kids inherited alcoholism? Yeah, they all inherited that demon. That demon passed down. It's not, we look at things so in the natural that we don't see that everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. It's not an accident that all your uncles have a problem with drugs, or all the women in your family get in abusive relationships and die at the hands of a partner, or stuff like that. There's no accidents. Nothing is accidental. The devil is very detailed, very organized, and he is on his game plan, child. He knows what he's doing. He attacks bloodlines, and he's really efficient, to be honest, because people ignore it or say, oh, that's just runs in my family, or that's just, we just were born that way. We're supposed to stay poor. 4 generations deep. No, you're not. And it really does not happen organically. You can't tell me that you didn't have that there weren't some people in there, some children trying to come out and do better. But what happened? They got pulled over, arrested for a made-up charge, or, they sent in a girl or a guy to take them out. And, I'm telling you, just, there are bloodlines that are targeted. And I know you hear people say, oh, I've been targeted and oh, this keeps happening. And people think, oh, they're crazy. But what if they're not? What if they're one of those bloodlines and they really are targeted? You guys, everything is spiritual. We really have to look past what we see. It's deeper than what we see. So, anyways, I never took that test. And they knew who you are from when you're born, but those tests were to help them identify because people move and, go all over. And so they just want to keep an eye. And they can't, and if you're a child of God, they really can't do too much. That's your protection. Being a child of God, that's your protection. They can't do too much. They can really just watch. And when you give them permission, that's when they can interject. So when you start dating that guy, now they can use that guy to come in. When you try that drug, now they can use that drug to take you out. You have to give permissions when you're a child of God. So that's why you don't want to do like children of God are like, dang, it's like everybody else gets away with everything, but as soon as I do anything, yeah, because they've been waiting. They've been sitting back waiting for you. Those other people are already belong to Satan. Yeah, that's no big deal. They've been sitting back waiting on you to slip up. They're like, slip up. Yes, as soon as she slips up, we got her. They're waiting. You're a hot commodity. So yeah, things might happen a little different for you. But anyways, what was I talking about? This is about DNA test, child. But yeah, those tests are fake. Allegedly. All right. Thanks for having coffee with me.